Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. Hey everyone. So, I really need to get this off my chest because I feel like I'm drowning in guilt and confusion. My name is Miranda, and I've been married to my husband Jasper for 5 years. We met in a pretty unique way at this underground jazz bar called the Blue Note in New Orleans. My friend Sophie dragged me out one night, and I wasn't really in the mood, but I went along anyway. The place was this cool, dimly lit spot with amazing live music. That's where I saw Jasper, sitting at the bar, looking a bit out of place but intriguing. We started talking, and he seemed genuinely interested in my stories about my travels in India and Tibet. I was working on a collection of short stories inspired by those travels, and he just listened so intently. That night, we connected on such a deep level that we became inseparable. Jasper has always been super supportive of my spiritual journey. When I got into yoga, he was all for it and encouraged me to go for it wholeheartedly. Yoga became my sanctuary, a place where I could reconnect with myself. I've attended countless classes and workshops over the years, but things changed about a month ago. Enter Hunter, my new yoga instructor. He's not just any instructor. He's this super spiritual guy who seemed to embody everything I admired about Eastern philosophies. His classes were next-level transformative, and I felt this intense connection with him. It started out innocently enough. After class, we'd chat about spirituality, chakras, and enlightenment. He had this way of making everything seem so clear and simple. One evening, after an intense class, he invited me for chai tea at a nearby cafe. I hesitated but convinced myself it was just a friendly gesture. I mean, Jasper knew how important my spiritual community was to me, so I didn't think he'd mind. These tea sessions with Hunter became a regular thing. He shared stories about his travels and experiences with spiritual leaders, and I found myself looking forward to these talks more than I should have. Then came the night that changed everything. After a particularly intense class, Hunter invited me to a private meditation session at his apartment. It felt wrong, but I convinced myself it was part of my spiritual growth. The session was profound, and I felt truly seen and understood for the first time in years. One thing led to another, and we ended up doing something I deeply regret. The guilt hit me like a ton of bricks. I went home to Jasper, trying to act normal, but I could tell he sensed something was off. Jasper's always been perceptive, and lately, he'd been asking more questions. He found a receipt for a dinner I never mentioned, and everything started unraveling. Yesterday, he confronted me. I couldn't lie anymore. I told him about Hunter, about how things spiraled out of control. Jasper didn't yell or cry. He just looked at me with this mix of hurt and resignation. "I never thought you'd be the one to break us, Miranda," he said quietly before walking out of the room. Now, I'm sitting here, alone, surrounded by the remnants of what was once a beautiful relationship. Jasper hasn't spoken to me since. I can't help but wonder if my quest for spiritual enlightenment led me down a path of destruction. Hunter was everything I thought I wanted, but in the process, I lost the one person who truly mattered. I guess I'm just looking for advice or support. Has anyone else been through something like this? How did you cope? How do I even begin to pick up the pieces? Update 2. Hey everyone. First off, thank you so much for all the advice and support on my previous post. I was in such a dark place, and your responses really helped me see things from different perspectives. I wanted to give you all an update on what's been happening since then. After Jasper confronted me and walked out, I was certain our marriage was over. The silence in our home was unbearable, and I was bracing myself for him to ask for a divorce. But something unexpected happened. Jasper came home one evening and asked if we could talk. We sat down, and he told me that while he was deeply hurt and betrayed, he wasn't ready to throw away everything we'd built together. He said he still loved me, and believed that we could work through this if we both committed to rebuilding our relationship. I was shocked and relieved all at once. I had prepared myself for the worst, but here he was, offering me a second chance. Jasper set some boundaries. He wanted me to cut all ties with Hunter and find a new yoga studio. He also suggested we start marriage counseling, which I agreed to immediately. I know I messed up, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. We've been going to counseling for a couple of weeks now, and it's been incredibly helpful. The therapist is great, and she's helping us navigate our feelings and rebuild trust. It's a slow process, but for the first time in a long time, I feel hopeful about our future. I've also started focusing more on Jasper and our relationship. I'm trying to be more present, more attentive, and more appreciative of everything he does. I've realized how much I took him for granted, and how my search for spiritual fulfillment blinded me to what I already had. As for Hunter, I haven't spoken to him since I told him I wouldn't be coming back to his classes. It's been hard because he was a big part of my spiritual journey, but I know that cutting him out is the right thing to do for my marriage. I found a new yoga studio, and while it's not the same, it feels like a fresh start. Jasper and I have been spending more time together, doing things we used to love, like going to jazz bars, taking long walks, and just talking. It's like we're rediscovering each other, and it feels amazing. I'm committed to making things work, and to being the best partner I can be. I know we still have a long way to go, but I'm optimistic. This experience has taught me so much about myself and what truly matters. I'm incredibly grateful for Jasper's willingness to give us another chance, and I'm determined not to let him down. Thank you all again for your support. Update 3. Hey everyone, I didn't expect to be back here so soon, but I really need to vent and get some advice. After my last update, things took a turn I wasn't prepared for. Jasper and I were doing well, or so I thought. We were going to counseling, spending more time together, and really trying to rebuild our relationship. But a few days ago, everything came crashing down again. Jasper came home from work looking more serious than usual. He sat me down and said that after giving it more thought, he realized he just couldn't move past what happened. He said the image of me with Hunter was stuck in his head and that he couldn't shake the betrayal. He was kind but firm. He wanted a divorce. I felt like the floor had been ripped out from under me. I was so sure we were making progress. I begged him to reconsider, to keep going to counseling, but his mind was made up. He said he needed to prioritize his own mental health, and that staying in the marriage was causing him too much pain. I'm furious. Furious at myself for messing up, but also at Jasper for giving me hope and then snatching it away. I know it's not fair to blame him, but I can't help how I feel. He was the one who offered to give us a second chance, and I threw myself into making things right, only for him to change his mind. Now, I'm in a bind. I know I won't get alimony because of the infidelity. I'm a freelance writer, and while I make enough to get by, losing Jasper's financial support is going to be a huge blow. I'm scrambling to figure out what to do next. I feel so lost and angry. I keep replaying everything in my head, wondering if there was something more I could have done, something I missed. But the reality is, I betrayed him, and this is the consequence. It just feels so unfair to go from hopeful and working towards a better future to being faced with divorce and financial uncertainty. I've started looking for more writing gigs, anything to help me stay afloat once the divorce is finalized. It's overwhelming, and I'm struggling to stay focused. The only silver lining is that this situation is forcing me to confront my mistakes and learn from them, but it's a hard pill to swallow. If anyone has been through something similar, I'd really appreciate any advice on how to handle the financial aspect of a divorce when you're the one who messed up. And any tips on staying sane during this process would be amazing too. Thanks for listening. This community has been a huge support, and I really appreciate it. Thank God, man. I thought this dude was about to take back that cheating trash. Jeez. Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.